Welcome to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster. I'm looking forward to the start of a new month and racing on Saturday, the 1st of February. And we've got some really good racing across Britain and Ireland Saturday after what's been a pretty lousy week's racing. It's got to be said, the midweek stuff has been fairly dire. I know the weather's played its part, but nothing to get too excited about, but worth waiting for the weekend. If you happen to be new to this racing um, advisory service, then you press the subscribe button just below this screen and you'll be able to get my tips for free. On this service, I'm nearly always looking for horses at each way prices, good each way prices wherever possible. And that's the way we like to look at things. We didn't have many selections during the month of January, I have to say. We only had 4 selections across the whole month because we didn't tip at the start of the month. Two of those selections placed at 25 to 1 and 20 to 1 advised. They were both subject to differing amounts of Rule 4, but it means that we end the month in a profit in January, which goes to show that while winners are always preferable, of course, we all like to back a winner. When you're betting each way at decent odds, it gives you a good chance of staying in the game if you can manage to get them in the frame, and that's what happened during January. Now, as I say, I've got two selections for you. One is going to be in each way. The other one is going to be a win because there's been a massive market move for the horse, one of the horses that I fancy. Um, and if you're looking for more selections on what is a great weekend's racing, I've got four already out there and out in front of my subscription service on the Patreon platform. And if you want to take a look at those and sign up and join us, the link is available in the description box just below this screen. You can sign up for monthly membership, or if you want to kind of pay as you go, then you can just go day by day whenever racing takes your fancy for a much smaller fee of just £5 a month. Although the monthly subscriptions are much better value because I'm tipping weekends through the week when there's decent racing and all the big festivals as well throughout the year. Anyway, two selections. Now, I'm going to come to this slightly out of order here. The first one I'm giving you is going to be at Musselburgh on Saturday in the 142, which is a listed Scottish Triumph hurdle. Good to soft ground, 10 runners. Now, I'd had a look through the race this afternoon. There has been a market move. I very nearly decided to drop this one, but I thought I'll give you two selections. You can choose whether or not you want to back this one, even though the price is shorter than I would normally recommend. Paul Nicholls is on a hat-trick in this race. He's actually won 4 of the last 8 renewals, so his representative, Nardaran, has to be taken seriously. He was purchased for €135,000 following his debut third in a French mile-and-a-half maiden in June. And this son of Waldgeist had been off for nearly 6 months when he made his jumps debut at Kempton, where he shaped with credit despite taking a keen hold, finishing fourth to Knight Templar, beaten less than 6 lengths. That was at Christmas time. He'll have learned plenty from that and is equipped here with first-time cheek pieces. He's an interesting runner. Now, Maitre en Séance for Harry Durham won 2 of his 3 starts over hurdles in France before joining his up-and-coming British handler. And he's already been handed a 133 rating by the British Horse Racing Authority handicapper, which suggests he's a pretty smart sort. So despite an absence of 5 months, it would not surprise to see him go close. The highest rated runner from Britain on official figures is Ollie Murphy's Static. He's achieved a mark of 122. He's another ex-French racehorse, beaten just a neck on his stable debut, which came in listed company Weatherby in November. And then he finished a creditable, somewhat distant second to the very smart East India Dock in a Grade 2 at Cheltenham a couple of weeks later. His latest disappointing run was in the Grade 2 finale hurdle and was probably, I'd suggest, on account of very deep ground. And I think he's going to be more effective under Saturday's conditions. Hossam is trained by Adrian Keatley, another up-and-coming trainer. He won a mile-and-a-quarter Newbury maiden for Owen Burrows on the flat last season, but struggled to make an impact after that off a mark of around 92 and a couple of decent handicaps, and then was sold for 78,000 guineas to go hurdling. Now, he made a very solid debut over hurdles at Catterick, finishing a close second, and went one better when he scrambled home in a tight finish at Weatherby last time. This is certainly a tougher race, but he's open to improvement at this game. And Solo Drive for Paul Flynn makes the trip over from Ireland and returns to the fray following a 109 days break. He had showed ability in 3 starts over hurdles, winning in September, then finishing a good second under his penalty at Punchestown in October, and is no forlorn hope. Now, my selection here is another Irish raider. It is the Andrew Canirons train Lucas Tipple, the mind of Sean Quinlan. Now, this is only the second runner, as far as I can tell, ever in Britain for his handler. This one is by Star Spangled Banner, who, of course, was a sprinter, won the Nunthorpe, but he's out of a High Chaparral mare, which is where he gets his stamina from. And he showed signs of ability in 2 maidens on the flat in the autumn. He only made his debut in the autumn. And then he made an immediate impact over hurdles when second of 20 to Saint Lucie at Punchestown on New Year's Eve. Now, here's the rub. The winner, Saint Lucie, is currently among the favourites for Saturday's Grade 1 juvenile hurdle at Leopardstown. So that form is looking strong. And Saint Lucie is the subject of quite a significant market move and is now clear favourite for the Grade 1 at Leopardstown Dublin Festival on Saturday afternoon. I'll come back to that. 18 days after that run, Lucas Tipple had the misfortune to run into what I think is another potentially smart horse when he was beaten less than 2 lengths into second by Pure Steel at Cork. And I think time might prove that form to be well up to par too. If he were from a better known yard, as I have said in my notes here, he would have likely been favourite for this event. He was 7-1 early afternoon on Friday with Bet365, and then was back down to a general 5-1. He's now available only at 4-1 with a one firm Bet365 at the time of this recording. So I'm suggesting a 4-1 win bet for Lucas Tipple. I would like to have been able to suggest him each way, but the price has gone. It's up to you whether or not you want to get involved in a win bet on this horse, Lucas Tipple. Take a look and decide for yourself. They certainly have come very heavily for that horse and also for Saint Lucie, who's going to be probably around a 7-4 chance, I think, now at Leopardstown on Saturday. Now to my other selection, which is a more normal sports bet price. And this is Sandown 125, a little earlier in the afternoon. 2.5 mile novices handicap hurdle. It's going to be like a pudding there, the racecourse. Really heavy ground. 9 runners. And it's going to be a slog. Absolutely no place for the faint-hearted. There is no outstanding candidate, and they're betting around 7-2 the field, with sole solution for Venetia Williams, a horse who was a dual bumper winner and who got off the mark at Hereford last time at the third time of asking over hurdles after previously finishing second to the subsequent Grade 2 in a 6-mile bridge. He's the early 7-2 favourite, and that 6-mile bridge form gives him a big chance if it's taken literally. He's going the right way. We'll see how he handles the ground. De Kingping for Ben Pauling has top weight of 12 stone, so no easy task in the very deep ground. He was narrowly defeated at Newbury last time on the soft over this trip, which was his first attempt beyond 2 miles, and then was awarded the race in the steward's room because of interference. He remains unexposed over this distance, while the Paul Nicholls trained Just Lucky Civiler, a winner at around this trip at Hereford in November, will welcome the return to 2.5 miles, I think, having patently failed to last home over 2 miles 7 furlongs at Ascot last time. However, he is unproven on deep ground, so he'll have to show he can handle the conditions. Nicky Henderson's old-time chaser, with a mark of just 99, is a very rare 7 barrows handicapper with a rating below 100. He looked fairly slow, to be honest, in his 2 recent outings over 2 miles and 2.5, but the deeper ground may help his cause. In other words, slow the others down. Spring's a Girl for Martin Keithley won a 2-mile 5 furlong mares novice hurdle on fairly decent ground at Ludlow last time. A very different challenge will face this mare here on her handicap bow, while Caliph Dairy for Gary and Josh Moore, whose horses were a bit quiet but have shown signs of coming back to form of late. This horse shapes as though he might be suited by the test, and I think he should enter calculations after 2 pretty solid efforts in defeat of late. But my selection, given the stamina sapping conditions, I'm suggesting that the Joel Parkinson and Sue Smith trained Grand Geste will go well under Gavin Sheehan and is worth a second glance. I see that this afternoon Parkinson and Smith had a double at Catterick. Their horses really have been in good form. Now this horse, Grand Geste, is fairly slow. He's a fairly slow old boat, but he stays 3 miles well, and that is what it's going to be all about, I think, at Sandown on Saturday. And so I think his stamina is going to help his course as they race on that very steep uphill climb to the finishing line. He kept on to be third over around 3 miles at both Haydock and New Toxter in December, and his regular conditional rider who's capable. But the assistance now of one of the best in the business, top jockey Gavin Sheehan, I think could be the making of him. The yard had 5 winners prior to this afternoon in the last fortnight, so we can make that 7 now. And after a slow start to the campaign, Joe Parkinson and Sue Smith are really starting to get things going. So I think Grand Geste is of definite interest here, and is a 14 to 1 each way offered with bet 365, and I think with one or two of the smaller firms as well. So there you have it, an interesting couple of runners for you on Saturday. As I said earlier, if you're interested in more of my selections and analysis, you can click on the description link in the box below this screen and consider joining me at Out in Front, um, where I'll also be tipping on the second day of the Dublin Festival at Leopardstown on Sunday, where there's plenty of outstanding racing once again. But that's it for this weekend. I'll be back at a similar time next week. I wish you the very best of luck, whatever you choose to back. Bye bye for now.